currently the local and state tax burden in Louisiana is the 5th lowest in the country. And what kind of tax system do I want? It's the one that I asked the legislature to pass in 2017. You know, when we had the $2 billion budget deficit, the legislature chose to do something that was temporary, and in the interim, set up a study commission to study our tax code best practices and make recommendations. That commission made recommendations. I made sure that all 15 of them were presented to the legislature in bills. And by the way, what they were attempting to do was basically, because you identified the issue, we have nominal rates that are far different than the effective rates. And by getting rid of some exemptions, we can lower the rates and kind of cut through the clutter and make sure everybody understands. Well, that's what I promoted. That's what I pushed for. But at the end of the day, the legislature couldn't bring itself to pass a single one of the recommendations that the task force that it created recommended. Not one. One of the things that I wanted to do was get rid of the federal income tax deduction, lower the rates that would have actually lowered the income tax on the people of Louisiana for 90% of taxpayers. But at the end of the day, nothing happened. And one of the Republican members of the House went to the floor and said, the reason nothing happened is the Republicans don't want for John Bel Edwards to get the credit for fixing the problem in Louisiana. Well, I will let their constituents deal with that. But I will tell you that we were eventually able to come together, and it wasn't pretty, it wasn't easy, but in a bipartisan way, we were able to establish stability for the state of Louisiana for 7 years. As soon as the economy performed, we actually rolled off more than half of the 5th penny that was created, so that the sales tax is bringing in $600 million less this year than it did last year to give a tax cut. But I will tell you, what we need to do is exactly what I asked the legislature to do in 2017. And by the way, PAR played a big role in that, in making those recommendations. So did the Committee of 100 and Cable as well. So we're in a better place today because of the work that we've been able to do, but it is nowhere near complete. And we just have to stay at it. We have to make sure that we are 100% committed in the state of Louisiana to achieving and maintaining the stability so that we can continue our forward momentum. So that's what we need to do in Louisiana. I will stay at it, and I will work with the legislature, Republican, Independent, Democrat, to continue to pursue bipartisan compromise. Because, by the way, that's the only way these things happen. When you have a Republican majority in the House, I'm a Democratic governor, and you need a 2/3 vote for everything you do. It only happens through bipartisanship.
Thank you very much, Governor. Congressman Abraham,
Well,
taxes.
You heard the governor's response, doom, gloom, and blame. And look, that's what not leadership is. Our current tax system, it is out of date. It is very, very complicated, and it is bad for business. We have to simplify our tax code. On the individual, you've got 80 exemptions from our personal income tax that only those of the very wealthy with a team of accountants and income tax lawyers can understand and work the system. There are over 50 corporate exemptions that also require a business to have a team of CPAs and tax attorneys in place to even maybe figure out what is actually owed. And we are only one of a very, very few states that has an antiquated franchise tax system that doesn't work and doesn't bring enough revenue in to really matter. We need to get rid of the franchise tax, and we probably need to start looking at how we can alleviate and lower the corporate tax. If we simply simplify our tax system, we can lower our taxes. When people look at the business, the questionnaire was right. We do have a sales tax that is in either the 50th or 49th place. It's one of the worst in the country. Our income tax, our corporate tax, all of the highest in the South. And if you're a business and you had to look at our tax structure and our tax code, where would you go put up a business? It wouldn't be here. It would be in Texas or even now in Mississippi, somewhere other than that. And for goodness sakes, let's stop raising taxes. My opponent brags about a surplus tax of dollars, which is a surplus of somebody else's money. doesn't fix anything, just jacks up taxes over and over again. And that's just not leadership. We need to get the exemptions out of the arena where you don't need tax attorneys by the hordes to figure out how much you owe at the bottom line. Make doing business in Louisiana easy. Make it predictable. Make them have some certainty as to when they come here to do business. They know that they can maybe, just maybe, make a little bit of money. It's what other states do. We need to do it here in Louisiana.